I've now completed my potting station, which is located in my greenhouse, come potting shed, the hybrid greenhouse that I've talked about before. It's a relatively simple procedure, so if you've never made one of these before, I'm going to make your life easy here. Don't get caught up in trying to make it perfect. You know, it doesn't need to be perfect. What it does need to be is usable. Now, most people will buy, I've not got it in here now, I was going to show you it, the plastic ones that you can buy at the garden centres. No use nor ornament them things. And the reason that they're no good is because they're not deep enough. They're okay if you're just doing the occasional potting of seedlings and things like that. They're fine for that, and they keep the dirt off. But to be quite honest, if you're going to get right into your potting and moving things on and potting up seedlings, then you're going to need something a little bit more substantial. So to this end, I've built this. Now, I've got a tape here, so we'll take a measurement just so you know how wide this thing is. And for me, this is absolutely ideal. So we've got, it's 34 inches or 86 centimetres in new money. And that's the width of it. Now the height, if you want to take these down, the height to there is about 16 inches. Nothing has to be precise. It's a basic shape, as you can see. It's nothing spectacular. All this is old plywood that I had. I've still got some bits and bobs around, which we will definitely use for something else. There's the other bits of ply. Now, these are just bits of leftover stuff. And then what I've actually placed it on is an old kitchen work surface that we removed from the house that was no longer needed. So it's actually come in quite handy because it's serving two purposes. So one I'll show you now, which is how to make this little potting bench. Bear with me. Right. So what we've got is that kind of shape. And the shape's not really important, but I know from previous ones that this is quite a nice shape to use. I would just simply cut it, which I did with this. I've got a little bit of a battery-operated cutter, and I did it with that. But you can do it with an handsaw. It's not a problem. And just cut it to this sort of shape so you can see what I've done. Now, all I've done is connect these things together with some screws. It's as simple as that. I've simply attached them with screws, and they're kind of self-supporting then, and all that it will really need to stop it completely flopping is this bit at the front. So that's like a little upstand there, and I have screwed it into the side there. So that's just to hold it together. So looking at that, you can see, so that's what I've basically done to this. Now, a problem that I come across, and I've come across in the past, is that sometimes you need to clean this bench. You need to get underneath and clean different bits and bobs. I've created this inside my hybrid greenhouse, as I've said, so we've got gaps behind it. But there's no gaps inside the actual thing itself. But now and again, I like to lift this and remove it and sweep away things that are under there. Because we don't want to be harbouring diseases, do we? So this is what we do. Now, I've also put in these sections here. Now, they are simply screwed to the base. They're screwed to this base here, all the way round here in 3 sections. They're screwed to the base, and that's to simply hold this in place. Now, I've made it tight, so as you can see, let's show you. Look, it can be lifted, and it can be lifted off. So I can get underneath, but basically I can take that off now, so I can remove it, move it out of my way. Yes, there'll still be little bits of wood screwed to the bench, but I can sweep it down now, so that's not going to cause a problem. I'd advise you to do that, because if you don't, you probably will come up against pests and diseases that you didn't know were there, and you really do need to remove those. So that's the way I've done it. Now, you really need a potting bench like this, because you need to be able to do these sort of things. You need to be able to pot up yourself and do your own bits and bobs. Now, what I've done as well, so I can show you here, We've created also a little bit of a potting bench underneath. Now, I won't say that that was easy. I was using scraps of wood that I had, and I'd advise you to get as many bits the same as you can, because I used different legs on the back and the front, simply because it's what I had left. So that's what I've done with those. What can I say about this? Nothing really, apart from it's attached to the actual top, which is great. It just creates myself another little usable area. I mean, it's not massive. These things aren't massive, but it does do a job. It's not all organised yet. There's still bits of wood from when I did it yesterday, but it's looking good. And we can put plant pots. Another bit of a tip: you can either put your plant pots like that in rows, as many as you can get in. If you're simply putting them like that, don't put them like that, because they get knocked over all the time. I find personally that if you put them like that, you tend not to knock them over because the top's wider than the bottom. So that's just a little tip from me that hopefully you'll take on board. Useful tools, little sweeping brushes. You'd be surprised how much these things come in handy. Let's show you. Let's show you this. Look, so handy. And you need to keep your tops clean and tidy, and that's what you must do. You also must tidy things up, like little bits of wood like that. Now, again, I try and do as much as I can in these places. So we've not got the shelving in here yet. I'm going to try and make my own shelving. We're all on a budget. Things have got more expensive, so try and make your own stuff. So that's what I'm doing. Simple trick. Again, in here, to hold your labels, just a bit of wire. That's all it is, fold it in. Most of these labels come with these little holes in the other side, and you can hang them off there, and it's easy and convenient for you to pick them up. So that's what I'd recommend you do there, which is really, really easy to do. Shouldn't have a problem finding bits of wire. What else can I tell you about this place? Oh, I've also, while we're in here, just show you while we're in the greenhouse, there's an old bench there that I was given, and I've used it. I've utilised it, I've squeezed it in, using it for that kind of thing. If you're growing pots inside, try and put them onto some sort of a tray to contain your water. Just saves your water in when it gets really warm. The only reason these pots are in here is just to bring these plants on a little bit and get them going. And again, another little bench. Bought that from B&Q, 20 quid, can't go wrong. Nightmare to put together, but definitely cheaper than buying all the wood to create the same thing. Just something for my seedlings. As you can see, we've got seedlings going on all over here. Freshly potted plants. And I think that's enough information for you on that. So give it a go. Don't just go out there buying and spending money at the garden centres. Have a go yourself. It's not hard. Bits of wood. Find some bits of wood. Family members will have some, I'm sure. Cut them down. Get yourself a saw, because what I did on this, I had a saw, screwdriver, screws. Simple as that. Oh, measuring tape as well. You need your measuring tape. It could be all sorts of sizes. And don't worry about how neat and tidy it looks. I'd just tidy it, just make it look as neat and tidy as you're able to. You don't have to be a skilled woodsman to be able to do this. It's something we can all do, and it's got this great. Well, you can put as much compost in there as you want, which I do, and the back of it is to simply contain the compost, and so are the sides. And it's really important that you do this, because you'll save yourself hours of frustration of knocking compost all over the place. No more to say on that one. Let's hope you have a go at it, and let me know if you do. How to make your own potting station. Ta-da!